Hello everyone, welcome! Let's learn how to use an Arduino with a motor shield to get some motors spinning. You will need an Arduino, you will need a motor shield, and you will need a motor. Notice that the wires are already soldered onto the motor here, they're already attached to the terminals, and I've just stripped back, I've just stripped back a little bit of the insulation off of the edge of that wire, just off the tip, just so that we can attach it to the motor shield. You'll also need a way to plug your Arduino into your laptop. Alright, so as you can see, I've got an empty Arduino program here. I've opened up Arduino. To use this motor shield, we'll use the library that is written for Arduino. We can go Tools and then Manage Libraries. And this shield is designed by a company called Adafruit. So I'll search for Adafruit, motor, and tricky, don't do this one. This one's Motor Shield V2, but we've got the old version, the version 1. You've got to scroll all the way down to the bottom and then you'll see the one here. Notice that it does not say V2. That's good. If you install V2, you will have problems. So let's install this one. So you click install, that will download the library. A library is a bunch of code that someone else has written that you can include in your program. And this code lets us control the motor driver. Let's open up one of the example programs that comes with that library. If I go File, Examples, and go down to Adafruit Motor Shield Library, and I'm going to use the MotorTest example. It will open up in a new document. Good. Just to make it a bit easier to see, I might make my font just a bit bigger. There we go, nice and big. So I'll step through how the code works in a moment. For now, let's see if we can get it running on the Arduino. To do that, let's plug the Arduino in. Notice that because I'm working on a steel workbench here, I've put some electrical tape on the bottom of my Arduino. Otherwise it'll short circuit and my Arduino will randomly start or not work as expected. So I've just got some electrical tape there to insulate it against the steel workbench. The lights are on, that's good. Let's choose up here. I can make sure that I've got my board and port picked. If you haven't done this yet, you might see this screen come up where you can choose a serial port here. It might be called USB serial. And down here you can look for an Arduino. We've got an Arduino Uno. So UNO, Uno, there we go. So okay. Now I can press the upload button, which is this one here. And it will compile and then upload, and it should say done uploading. That's how you know that it's good, when it says done uploading and when there are no errors here. Now, although this program is running, it's difficult to tell that it's working. I notice here that there are some serial.println commands to print messages through the serial port. So through this chip here, this USB serial chip, to send it to your computer. So let's have a look at those. If I click on the serial monitor here, I seem to be getting gibberish. I think the reason that I'm getting gibberish, it is printing things, but it's not printing correctly, is because the serial port is set up to transmit at 9,600 bits per second. That's the baud rate or the bit rate. But here, on the computer side, it says 115,200. So I need to make sure that that bit rate is the same. If I change that to 9,600, and I might even press this button just to reset my Arduino. There we go. So it prints MotorTest and then does the other things. I'll explain the code a bit later, but for now, let's see if we can actually get this motor spinning. That would be exciting. To control the motor, we can't control it directly from the Arduino because these pins can only output about 40 milliamps, which is not very much. The motor pulls a lot more than that amount of current. So instead, we put this motor driver board on top. Notice that there are not many pins here and lots of pins there, and the short amount of pins lines up here. There we go. And the other side should line up as well. Good. And now I can attach my motor. Where am I going to attach it? If I look at my code, I can see that it's setting up a motor on motor number 4. So let's plug it into motor number 4, which is, that says M4, M3, M2, and that one must be M1, motor 1. So let's plug it into motor number 4. I'll loosen these screw terminals a bit with a flathead screwdriver. I'll plug them in some order. If you get it the wrong way around, the only thing that will happen is the motor will go backwards. I'll push it in, and then while I'm pushing it in, I will tighten down the screw terminal to clamp down that wire. There we go. Put this one in as well. Push. There we go. And I will tighten it down. Alright. So now the motor is spinning. Good. Alright. I will leave it there for now, and then in the next video, I will explain how the code works and how to bring this down into a simpler version so we can understand it. Alright. See you in a bit.